Well, when you play the Sacramento A's, you don't expect the losses to hurt, but these Nick hurts. They were terrible losses, walk-off losses by the Athletics. Hey, let them have their World Series in June. We are fighting for a much bigger prize. Let's get started right now.
Jainer Diaz, this is Locked On Astros.
Hello and welcome to Locked On Astros, your daily Astros podcast. Here are your hosts, Eric the Man Huysman and Brett H-Town Wheelhouse Chancey.
We are Locked On Houston Astros. We hope that you join us for a daily Locked On Astros podcast. My name is Eric Huysman, and find me on X at Eric Talk Stros. Find the show at Locked On Astros, your team every day. Brett, where can I find you at?
They can find me at H-Town Wheelhouse on X, Instagram, and TikTok, at Stros411 on X and on Facebook, and at Wheelhouse Media Company on YouTube. And look, just look up H-Town Wheelhouse. You know where to find me. I'm always positive, always Stros.
Hey guys, thank you for making Locked On Astros podcast your first listen. Whether it's on YouTube, go ahead, subscribe to us. Go make this first listen. Apple, Odyssey, Spotify, wherever you listen to your podcast. Go and check us out. Today's episode is brought to you by FanDuel. Right now, new customers can get $200 in bonus bets when your first $5 bet wins. So I know, Brett, yesterday after Victor Caratini hit that home run, you're like, I bet the Astros are going to win this game with the way things have been going recently. But unfortunately, that wasn't the case. We'll go and talk about this heartbreaking loss because you thought that there was a chance. Unfortunately, it was not. But we'll go ahead and talk about some injury updates, and the Clark trade was actually made official, and some more news about the Houston Astros. So, and Brett, I'm back. I'm back home. So it feels comfortable to be back at my studio in the dining room, but it's good to be back.
No, man, it is. And these late nights are kicking my butt, man, watching this team and trying to find just a way out of, getting out of Sacramento with the series win. This was the case of the A's starting pitcher Lopez, only the third time getting through 5 innings. He really had the Astros on their heels, but they would get opportunities. We had opportunities. He really we had bases loaded more than once against him, so he wasn't ultra successful. We just didn't, not we, but they didn't capitalize. This was a frustrating loss because you could have won this game very easily. Yeah, I think if Dubon's double ends up being a 2-run home run and you tie the game, I think that changes the game totally, because then I think your game plan for Lopez changes for the Athletics. And I think this game is easily won by the Astros. But you can do should have, would have, could have all you want to. It's what actually happened. It's not the ex-WOBA or expected batting average. It's what actually happened. What went on, what you can look at. 9 left on base, 2 for 13 with runners in scoring position. I mean, Eric, there's not much you can do even against a bad team.
Yeah, definitely the 2 errors hurt.
Yes.
You had Altuve with the throwing error, then you had Colton Gordon with the fielding error. So he
wasn't golden yesterday. He wasn't horrible, but he wasn't golden.
Yeah, but just the way it happened with Caratini hitting the home run and tying the game, believe that was in the 8th inning. Yes, that was in the 8th inning. After not being able to score any runs, I mean, you got the 1 run in the 5th inning, but the A's had the 2 home runs in the 2nd inning, and it seemed like, Brett, I don't know if you caught it, but it seemed like the A's were mocking the Astros, saluting the bullpen. I don't know if you picked this up, but Altuve, Dubon, a couple of other guys, whenever they hit a home run, they go ahead and do this thing. Where they kind of like pointing to the bullpen and just acknowledging how good the bullpen is. And it's just something that they're doing. But the A's, I guess, were getting a little tired of being beaten like home run derby style the past 2 days. So it looks like they were mimicking him a little bit.
Yeah, look, hey, a young team with a lot of fire, with really nothing to gain or nothing to lose, you're going to do that. These are professional athletes, and Nick Kurtz is actually from the East Bay area. He grew up an A's fan, so this is a kid fulfilling a childhood dream. It would be like if you or I or any of our listeners got to put on the uniform of our favorite team, the Houston Astros, kind of thing. So look, man, he did the little kind of a modest bat flip, in today's standards, and they went nuts. And I hate this analogy, but it's the only one I have. Whenever I was coaching one of my son's teams, we were undefeated. In the last game of the season, we were playing I think they were the Grasshoppers. We were all minor league teams, and they didn't win. They hadn't won a game all year, and they beat us. They beat us like 14-8. And when they beat us, I remember this little kid in the dugout going, "We just beat Goliath and we're David." Like there was so much energy, and we were going over there high-fiving their team. I almost feel like the Astros should have mocked them and gone over there and high-fived them. Like, good job, guys. Way to get a win, But it's going to happen. It's the major leagues, and unfortunately, it's at the peril of the team that we love to talk about.
And I know a lot of people are blaming Josh Hader. He did get his first loss of the season. He did give up a home run to a left-handed hitter, but he did this to the Astros just 3 days earlier off of Brian Abreu. If you're talking about the could-have, woulda, should-have, before when the Astros were trailing, Brian Keane was warming up. And then when Caratini hit the home run, then they went ahead and started warming up Brian Abreu. And so in this situation, would have been better to just go ahead and put in Keane in the 8th inning, because Brian Abreu, he didn't give up any runs, but he wasn't perfect in that inning, but maybe he could have been saved for the 9th inning. And Brian Keane has been pretty good this year. Go ahead and put him in the 8th inning. He's already warmed up. He's already loose. Then go ahead and put Abreu in the 9th inning. And you don't have to have Josh Hader for to try to go 2 innings. And I'm not blaming Josh Hader. I hate the stupid ghost runner. I know it helps the Astros sometimes. It hurts the Astros. Wait, is this the first time the Astros have lost in extra innings this year?
Yes, they are 4-1 now in extra innings. So yeah, so this is their first loss. I mean, they've been successful throughout the season. Now, when you go back to that at bat and you look at the pitch that was absolutely obliterated, okay, that pitch was pretty much middle. I mean, that was about as softball as a fastball that you could get right in the heart of the plate. I mean, he might as well have been throwing a beach ball.
Yeah.
And, Nick Kurtz is a professional hitter. And so he's going to manipulate and take advantage of mistakes. And that's what baseball is about. It's about taking advantage of the mistakes. And the Astros had some opportunities early on. They just didn't take advantage of the mistakes that Lopez was throwing at them.
Yeah, the Astros had a lot of singles in this game. They only had 2 extra base hits. Caratini had a big hit. Dubon, of course, had a double. But the Astros overall were 1 for 11 with runners in scoring position. Even in the game the day before, I'm losing track of days. I think it was Wednesday. They were 3 for 15 with runners in scoring position. Yes, they scored 11 runs, but they still weren't doing so well with runners in scoring position. They had a lot of home runs. So what I'm seeing, Brett, is this is a ballpark that's going to cater to a lot of home runs. So you've got to figure out how to pitch better at this ballpark. And I know the A's are still trying to figure that out. Lopez did a great job. He had 9 strikeouts, so he was able to miss the Astros bats, or the Astros were just missing the pitches. I'm not sure what the case was here, but the Astros have been playing really good. We can say, yes, the Astros offense sucks. They haven't been the past few days. One thing we could talk about next, Brett, is the fact that Cam Smith was batted 5th for the first time this year. So, guys, thank you for making Locked On Astros podcast your first listen every day, whether it's on YouTube. Go ahead, subscribe to us, and we'll continue the conversation next.
This episode is brought to you by Wonderful Pistachios. Wonderful Pistachios are the snack that packs a protein punch. Get snacking, get cracking. Go to wonderfulpistachios.com. Look, every 1% ounce serving has 6 grams of protein. That's 1 ounce of pistachios for 6 grams of protein. Why is that important? Because that's over 10% your daily value. Plus, it's packed with fiber, better for you unsaturated fats to help you keep feeling fuller longer. So look, if you want something like if you want a snack that is more than just empty calories, this is the way to go. Whether you're at your desk, whether you're in your meeting, whether you're on the road, these are the best options for you. They have pistachios with shells, without the shells, whatever you like, they have it for you. It has essential amino acids in them as well, 9 of them to be exact. So get snacking and get cracking with the snack that packs a protein punch. Visit wonderfulpistachios.com to learn more.
Hey guys, thank you for making Locked On Astros podcast your first listen every day, whether it's on YouTube. Why don't you subscribe to us? It's easy. There's a little red button down there. Just press it. It's not like trying to hit a 99 mile per hour fastball. It's just right there. It's a beach ball, as Brett said earlier. So I know that somebody like Josh Hader, he throws hard. When you make contact, it's going to go far. But that was a heartbreaking. I knew as soon as Kurtz came up, I knew exactly what was going to happen. This was the same situation as in game 1. I knew exactly what I've seen this movie before, and I just felt like he's going to hit a home run. I was about to fall asleep at that point. Had it on my phone, and I'm like, I could barely stay awake. I've been flying all day and traveling, and I'm like, let me just stay up a little bit longer. And as soon as he hit that home run, I'm like, yep, I knew it was going to happen. But this kid is going to be a thorn in the Astro side for a long time. He's got a lot of power. You've got to learn how to pitch to him. And I think that when the A's get good, it's going to be not because of Rooker, but it's because of Wilson, Butler, and Kurtz. I think these 3 guys are going to be a core team, group of guys for the A's.
Oh yeah, well you got Bleday, you got Soderstrom. I mean, you got this Denzel Clark who has come on for them. They've got a cast of characters. Severino, if he really gets his pitching stuff together, yeah, he could be one of. I mean, look, the A's are building something that I think in the next year or 2 will look really good on paper for them, and they will be a formidable opponent in the West. Jacob Wilson, this kid, has the most multi-hit games in the major leagues this year. Right. And so he's a contact hitter. He's kind of, I liken him to Stephen Kwan in Cleveland. You know, Kwan is not a power guy. He's a contacts guy, right? And when Stephen Kwan first made his mark on major leagues, Eric, it was all about the contact. It was all about the high average and all that stuff. And that's what Wilson is doing. Wilson did hit a home run last night. He's gonna get a few more home runs than he will in a typical ballpark, but he's not your home run guy. So you just hate to see, like, once they got that home run from Caratini, because I had Will Kunkel on one of my podcasts last night, and he texted me, "Hey man, thanks, had a great job." And then Caratini had just hit the home run. I said, "Well, what did I say they do when they score 4 runs?" He said, "You said they win." And of course they end up losing. And I'm like, dang it. Like, we had that 4-run magic. I thought we've been living off 2-out magic. And that's what that was, right? That was a 2-out clutch home run by Caratini. Right. But the ball doesn't always bounce your way, Eric. And I would much rather split a series than lose a series. There's that. You win 2 of 4 on the road. You're not losing the series on the road. So, I mean, there's ways that you can look at this and find positives. The Astros got to dust themselves off because they have the Angels right away. The Angels have been playing better baseball than most of the AL West outside of the Astros. So, you got to make sure that you don't catch them on a heater and that you can take care of business, because when you come home, Eric, the Astros have the Phillies and the Astros have the Cubs. Kyle Tucker is coming back home for the first time.
Yeah, and the Mariners lost, so the Astros still have a 5-game lead. And so you still have a lead over the Angels, 6.5 games, the Rangers 7, and then the Athletics, even with the 2 wins this series. I mean, I know they lost 2 games, the A's did, but they're 13 games back. So you have a comfortable lead at the moment. You have a couple of pitchers out. You have a situation where you're missing Alvarez, one of your best hitters in the lineup. I know this year he has not been your best hitter, but Victor Caratini has taken advantage of the fact that Alvarez has been out of the lineup. Yeah, his numbers are not overall great, but he's batting .261, .732. But he's showing that he can be a guy you can count on. And I know he's a free agent after this season, but this is a guy that's got 5 home runs, 17 RBIs, but he has that clutch gene that a lot of the Astros hitters do not. Runners in scoring position, he has that ability to get the job done. Clutch situations. I know all the Astros hitters, for some reason, have the ability to get the big hit with 2 outs, but I just wish they would get it done with 0 outs, with bases loaded, where you don't strand everybody with bases loaded with no outs. But the Astros are going to be fine. I'm not too worried about this loss. That's when you go to extra innings like this, it's basically a flip of a coin. Somebody's going to get the walk-off hit. And
I just wonder, Eric, I just wonder if at some point, I mean, I guess they're not. I mean, new rules are kind of like, I don't know. I guess this is like crack for Rob Manfred. He loves to add more rules, and the more he adds rules, he's like, oh, I gotta have more. It just reminds me of all the David Chappelle skits when he's got like the powder around his nose. I'm just saying, like I hate how they've changed the game. I would love for them to rethink this rule, because I think it puts undue stress on the pitchers. I think there needs to be a lot of things revamped. I think the 3 batter minimum rule is ridiculous. I just think there are a lot of things that you could do that would give the game a lot more integrity. And I mean, because if we're going for integrity, these added rules have nothing to do with integrity, because it's basically Mike Stanton called it a zombie runner. And because basically it's not an earned run, it doesn't go against the pitcher. He just scores. So if you have a guy on base that's producing runs, but it doesn't go against anybody that's on the mound, then how do they even count in the box score? I hate it, but it is what it is. And the Astros have been successful more times than not. So that's what you got to hang your hat on right now.
Phantasma. So it's a ghost. That's why it is. It's called a ghost runner. But so I know that if the Astros are going to be facing the Angels, we'll talk about that next. We'll go and talk about some injury updates to basically a lot of players. And we'll go ahead and talk about the Wes Clark trade that is actually official now. And we'll talk about a lot of comments that we've gotten on YouTube about us being wrong. But just remember, we were speculating about the trade. We had no information about that. This is a minor trade. So we were
I didn't even see it. But yeah, you have to inform me of how wrong we were. Educate me.
So we'll go and talk about this on the Locked On Astros podcast. Thank you for making us your first listen every day.
Well, while I may not be right about my speculation of who we traded and what got traded for, I can tell you this. I know that FanDuel works, and I know that the NBA playoffs are in full swing, and Therese Halliburton, the Pacers, they forced a Game 7 with OKC. These games are kind of weird back and forth. It is a perfect opportunity because it's highlight-worthy performances, major momentum shifts, and can't-miss moments like you've never seen before. And as the MLB season is heating up, every game brings clutch hits, standout pitching, unforgettable moments, walk-off home runs, not the one that they did in Oakland, to no-hitters and so on and so forth. Or, hey, if you want to do the over-under on how many times the Dodgers pitcher is going to hit Fernando Tatis, I'm pretty sure there's a +1 somewhere. So you can go to FanDuel.com. You can sign up today, and when you do, you place your first $5 bet. If that wins, you'll bet $200 in bonus bets. So check it out. Same game parlay, performance trends, player props. Fans have more ways to play than ever to win smart and win big at FanDuel.com. Your first $5 bet gets $200 if that bet wins. Remember, FanDuel.com is the official sports betting partner of the NBA, but not for the refs.
Hey guys, thank you for making Locked On Astros podcast your first listen every day. Whether it's on YouTube, go ahead, subscribe to us. Go and make us first listen. Apple, Odyssey, Spotify, wherever you listen to your podcasts, go and check us out. So the other day, Brett and I just did a spur of the moment podcast about, we heard about the Astros making a trade for a minor league first baseman named Wes Clark of the Brewers. We had no information other than the fact that the Astros were rumored by Ari Alexander and Franchi Romero, I believe, they're going to make a trade. We didn't know what we gave up. And also at the same time, Shea Whitcomb was scratched from the AAA lineup. So we just put 2 and 2 together. Yes, it wasn't an equal trade, but we were just talking about it. So we got a lot of comments about, well, you're wrong. This is not what happened. But I'm going to go ahead and put up, this is Ari Alexander's picture of the guy we traded to get Wes Clark. You ready?
Yeah.
Cash considerations. So
is this AI generated?
Yes.
Oh,
I think he got that from AI. Yes. So
I love that cash considered. Dude, hold on. Put that guy back up. That dude's got freaking, look at the forearms on that guy, man. Wow. he's got everything.
Almost Bagwell type arms.
Can we get him to play until Yordan Alvarez comes back?
I don't know if he can see because he has no eyes.
Hey man, it's all about the money, right? It's all about the Benjamins, baby. Yeah, look, I mean, hey, I love money. I love Monday morning quarterbacks in all forms, whether they're critics of the podcast or telling Hall of Famers that they don't know what they're talking about when they're commentating on the live TV, or people who call themselves certain members of, teams' offices and claim to be experts when, look, we're all just fans here when it all comes down to it. At the end of the day, the Houston Astros did make a trade. And honestly, there were questions from the press. Remember, Chandler Rome was asking, hey, hold on, you got all these healthy guys on the bench. You just made a move. Who's going down, or is somebody injured? And then Joe Espada goes, everybody on my bench is healthy. And then the next morning, when Brendan Rodgers was in the batting cage, he had an oblique strain. Hold on, wait, did he not know about the oblique strain? Because he kind of jokingly said, well, I don't pay attention to social media. So look, we were merely speculating, and I don't think we ever really made any definitive statements. But hey,
we're just talking about it. We're just having a conversation like we're at a bar.
You know what? Hey,
talking about what we know.
You know what that means? Let me just put a positive spin on this. That means you care. Okay.
Yeah.
But and we don't mind your comments. We don't even mind. We totally let y'all disagree with us. We're not here to be your thought police. We're not here to tell you how to fan. But, Locked On Astros success has been because we have a conglomeration of fans that come from all walks of life, have different philosophies, would bat this guy over that guy, would have this lineup over that lineup, right? And that's fine. I mean, Eric and I don't even agree on stuff. I mean, y'all see it on camera. we talk before the show. Sometimes we don't agree. Sometimes we agree so much that I'm going, okay, what's the next thing we're going to disagree on? Because it's going to be huge, right? But it doesn't matter. And
sorry, I was trying to do this.
yeah, what the heck? Yeah, man. See, Eric has a power y'all don't have. He has a power to take me off the screen. But
I have the power to mute him too.
Oh, wow. But yeah, man, I mean, seriously, keep the comments coming. But honestly, the criticism I give back a lot of times what's sent to me. And if you're gonna come at me hard and question my integrity or my character, I'm gonna bite back. But I'm gonna use facts over feelings every time.
So going back to the trade, the Astros acquired Wes Clark from the Brewers and optioned him down to AAA. It was for cash considerations. So if you want to think about it like this, the Astros got cash for Forrest Whitley. So maybe you can think about it as this was a 3-team trade for Forrest Whitley for Wes Clark. I mean, not really, but if you want to think about it instead of the cash guy, you can think of it as a trade like that. But I think the Astros could possibly use Forrest Whitley right now because I don't think Nick Hernandez is the guy. But at that moment, they really needed a roster spot for the 6-man rotation. I think it was Brandon Walter, or it was somebody at that moment. They needed that roster spot. And so they made the decision, and Forrest Whitley was not really performing. So they hoped for a success, but it wasn't with the Astros.
So he's pitched 2 successful innings. He pitched the 16th and the 18th. Scoreless innings, no hits, no runs, no strikeouts, no walks. Right. So 2 clean innings with them. So it's good to see him having success over there. I mean, gosh, his ERA is down to 9.64 because it was up to 12 in his limited outings because he's only pitched in 7 games. So a small sample size. Here's the thing: he is only 27, which is crazy. Like you would think he would be older at this point, but he's going to have
drafted out of high school. So yeah,
I know, but I'm just saying, like, wow, man, to be 27. I wish I had 10 years gone and I was still 27. That would be great.
So let's talk about injuries now. I know that the best news of the past couple of days is that Christian Javier threw 20 live pitches to batters, no issues, and he was up to 95 miles per hour. So that's really good news. Luis Garcia could throw a live batting practice next week. Chas McCormick is likely to face live pitching next week in Florida. Alvarez and DeZenzo, nothing's going on. They're still not hitting or anything. And JP France is slated to throw his 3rd live batting practice tomorrow. So we have some guys getting back into action, but it's still going to be a while before you see them back with the Astros. So you're going to have to rely on the Gustos, the Walter, and the Gordon. And to his credit, Gordon could have given in. I know he gave up the 2 home runs. He had the errors that led to the 3rd run. But overall, he did not embarrass himself yesterday. He stayed in, pitched 5 innings, and with a mostly rookie rotation at this point, that's all you can ask for.
And that's where I think, we're asking the $1 million question. What do the Astros need more? Do they need a bat? Do they need an arm? I think they need an arm. Can you depend on these guys coming back to be kind of quote unquote their trade acquisitions? I don't know. I know Yordan Alvarez is going to be like a free agency acquisition for them, and almost like a trade deadline move once he comes back. But, like you had mentioned, like we've mentioned before, no real movement there. So I think the Astros need a pitcher.
Yeah, I have one more. We traded Miguel Castro back a long time ago.
Yes.
To the White Sox.
Right.
And it was kind of TBA, something to be named later. So the Astros actually received $500,000 in international bonus pool.
I saw
money.
That. Yes.
So that's actually good because the Astros have done a lot of good things with bonus pool money. With money internationally. So that increases them to basically 776,000 about for signing a international free agent or 3 or 4 or 5, whatever it is. But that could help you get one of the big fish on the market.
Yeah, definitely. Look, at the end of the day, the Houston Astros are going to keep plugging along. They've got the Anaheim Angels, the Los Angeles Angels of Anaheim, whatever you want to call them, the LAAs. They're still in Anaheim. Anaheim's a heck of a long drive from LA if you're driving through traffic. But looking forward to this series. I really hope the Astros can take care of business, because at the end of the day, you got to take advantage of the Mariners being down. I mean, Hunter Brown versus Astros legend Yusei. How about you say loss? I would love for that to be the case. But Hunter Brown, I think Hunter Brown goes out there and absolutely deals. So it'll be a good first start to the game. Unfortunately, it's another late game, but hey, it's the weekend, so we get a couple nights off.
What's with no getaway early start on Thursday? Like, you could have a 3:00 game or something.
Well, the reason why they did that is because of the heat. Apparently in Sacramento, it's like triple digits. So yeah, I had no idea Sacramento's environment was surface of the sun environment. I just thought it was, it's Northern California. It's got to be cool up there, right? No, not there. So
yeah. So it's earlier start time, 8:38, and then 3:07 in Anaheim. So at least it's an earlier start time. But guys, thank you for making Locked On Astros podcast your first listen every day, whether it's on YouTube. Go ahead, subscribe to us. Go and make his first listen on Apple, Odyssey, Spotify, wherever you listen to your podcasts. I'm not too worried about this series. The Astros showed some offense, and they're just Nick Kurtz was basically responsible for the other 2 losses. So we'll be back on Sunday to talk more Astros baseball. And thank you for being the best part of the Locked On Astros podcast.
And go Stros. And hey, this hat I'm wearing today, guys, they just released a 2.0 of this. If y'all want this hat, go to Big City Cap Zone on Instagram. Check them out. I promise you, I just checked this morning. They got some lids. Go get you one. You can be like Wheelhouse. Why not?
That's the hook.